So I got a pretty interesting firearm here. And I didn't even know this existed until just a little while ago whenever a buddy of mine sent me a picture of it. I thought it was just a P90 because it looks like a P90. But this is actually a Ruger 1022 inside of a Tower Armory P90 chassis. You take your internals out of your 1022, your barrel and your action, and you drop it into this. What I really don't like about it, as fun as it is to shoot, it's got this little brass deflector right here. And it doesn't just deflect brass, hot brass into your arm, it also deflects like unburnt powder and all the gases. So while you're shooting this thing, it's literally all focused right there on your forearm and it doesn't feel that great. But it's very accurate and it's a very smooth shooting gun. This thing does not move when you're sitting there mag dumping it. We're at like 40, 50 yards, something like that. And you can literally put an entire magazine center mass on target and the gun does not move. So loading this thing is a bit tricky because the actual mag well is kind of recessed inside of it. So it takes a minute to get used to. And another thing I don't like about it is it has two safeties. So it has like your standard P90 wheel safety, if that's what you call it, up front. You also have a button back here that you have to manipulate to disengage the safety that's on the actual 22 itself. So once you have both of those disengaged, you put the magazine in there, put one in the chamber. It does have ambidextrous charging handles. You're good to go. And to show you what I was talking about with the brass hitting you in the arm, just kind of pay attention to this right there. Woo, that's hot. So you just kind of get a barrage of hot brass, unburnt powder, and all the gases. And if they stay on your arm, they burn a little bit. Doing this, using this chassis, pretty much makes this rifle a bullpup. And if you don't know what a bullpup is, any rifle that the magazine is behind the trigger is considered a bullpup. And the reason that they make bullpups is so that the overall length of the rifle is more compact, while at the same time you're kind of keeping the same barrel length. Because if you didn't know, the longer your barrel, the better ballistics you have. So whenever you cut your 5.56 barrel down to 7 inches, 5 inches to have this cool pistol, you basically have a glorified loud 22. This is the P90, and this is just a regular 1022, semi-regular. So you can see it's about, I'd say almost a foot shorter, maybe 8 to 12 inches shorter. So with this one, you have a, what is it? Is this a 16-inch barrel? So this is a 16-inch barrel with, you know, just your regular stock and all that. It's going to be a little bit longer than your bullpupped rifle. So that's just another thing to note, is how compact it is, and that's just inherent with a P90. So like previously mentioned, it takes just regular 1022 magazines. It takes the 15 round, the 10 round, 25 round. The only magazine that it doesn't work with is the drum mags that you can get for the 1022. And the only reason it doesn't is because this chassis makes the mag well a lot more recessed than just a stock 1022. And it just doesn't quite reach the mag well. And I mean, if it was maybe ½ inch, quarter inch shallower, it would, but it just doesn't work. Any other 1022 magazine does. And another thing to note while we're talking about the magazine is the way that you have to get the magazine out. So with it being recessed like that, the release is way up in here. So you kind of got to use your ring finger or your middle finger to press the button to press the release. And then you got to grab it with your thumb and your index finger to pull it out. Takes a little bit to get used to. It takes a couple tries before you know how to do it, if that makes sense. But first picking this gun up and trying to put a magazine in is a little difficult. So yeah, see, it makes it hard for no reason. There, kind of got to wiggle it around a little bit, make sure it clicks in, and then you're good to go. And then to pull it out, same thing, use your ring finger, middle finger, press the button, and yank it out. That is the Tower Armory P90 chassis for a 1022. It's pretty cool. Functionality just isn't there, isn't great. but it is something to hang on your wall to look cool, and just to really just to have a range toy. It is pretty cool. But yeah, there you go. Thank you for watching.